Folks, this is a strange video we have today. There are accusations that Tommy Robinson works for the Mossad, for the IDF, and the State of Israel. That's a lot of employers for a guy who lives in the UK to have, and to not have any proof of that on record. But here we're going to take a look at these accusations and explore the truth. But first, let's start with Tommy Robinson himself and see what he has to say. Check it out.
So it's nothing like, people are like, oh Mossad. It's fuck it, really? Do you know why they say Mossad? Because when I went to Israel, I bought a Mossad t-shirt from the souvenir shop. When I went to New York, I bought a New York Police Department bloody t-shirt. I went in the New York Police Department, lads. And that's a bit stupid of me if I was Mossad to be wearing a Mossad t-shirt, wouldn't it? But I don't really care, yeah?
Alright folks, that's all you need to know. I mean, if the guy worked for the Mossad, would he be wearing a t-shirt that says Mossad? And by the way, for those who say his name was changed, blah blah blah, do you know what his original name was? His original name was Lenin. Okay? If you're about to connect the name Lenin to anything remotely connected to the army, the Israel government, Mossad, I mean, sheesh. Well, what's next? What's next? Israel's responsible for everything in history? Okay, now let's take a look at what rapper Lowkey has to say. This guy is a failed rapper who is very upset at Israel, and unfortunately for him, he's wasting his time with conspiratorial pursuits such as connecting Tommy Robinson to the Mossad. The reason this is foolish is because it takes away from his other arguments, right? He's trying to fight Israel in the court of public opinion, and that's fine. There's things that he can say, but he has a small, low IQ, and as a result is going after conspiratorial claims. Watch what he says. Watch how ludicrous it is what he says. And by the way, low key, this guy, I mean, Tommy Robinson is out there defending the British people, trying to prevent crimes by illegal migrants, Islamist gangs, and low key doesn't seem to really care about that. He's focused on whether or not Tommy Robinson is connected to the Mossad. Let's listen to low key's brilliant analyzation.
We look into the background of the organisation he founded, the English Defence League. We could take the view that it was intended to be an offshoot of the terrorist Zionist organisation, the JDL, the Jewish Defence League.
Okay, just a quick pause right there. He said we could take the position, blah blah, and he's connected to an organization that was banned, I think 40 years ago now. He found some loose connection, and he's saying we could take the, he's putting out an 8-minute video making himself look like a fool, because he's saying maybe we can make a connecting a dot here and there. Give me a break. But listen to what he says. It's actually it's so absurd that it's actually kind of funny. It's sad humor, but watch what he has to say.
In fact, his co-founder of the English Defence League was an individual who called himself Paul Ray. Paul Ray, prior to founding the English Defence League, infiltrated the International Solidarity Movement, a pro-Palestinian organisation which Rachel Corrie had been a member of. Paul Ray infiltrated and spied on this pro-Palestinian organisation and then submitted the information to several different intelligence agencies.
Okay, it says rapper and journalist is a very forgiving term for this guy. He's going to go on to connect this guy who infiltrated an organization. He's upset about it. And the reason he's upset is because this guy succeeded in infiltrating quite easily a pro-Palestinian organization. The absurd part is that the leap that he makes from pro-Palestinian to Mossad is just non-existent. This is just a waste of 8 minutes. Just total garbage. Total garbage. And, you know, the fact that his connection was that he found somebody who is anti-Islamist, right? Somebody who doesn't like Islamic terror. Oh my gosh, what a terrible thing. He found someone who's anti-Islamist, who was involved in both organizations, and that's his connection. It befuddles anybody with a semblance of a brain to think such things in such conspiratorial manners. Now, this guy is a failed rapper who is very upset at Israel, and unfortunately for him, he's wasting his time with conspiratorial pursuits such as connecting Tommy Robinson to the Mossad. The reason this is foolish is because it takes away from his other... Yes, the famous George Galloway. He was actually famous for about a year or two, 15 years ago. You can look it up online, but he's still hanging around. He's got a YouTube channel. Let's hear what he has to say and his analysis on Tommy Robinson's connection to the state of Israel.
Tommy Robinson is a paid agent of Israel.
Okay, now, George Galloway, much stronger words than the rapper Lowkey, who said maybe this, maybe that. George Galloway is saying this is a fact. And that is disingenuous because there is no hard evidence. There's no paper trail. There's not even any smoke. There's a t-shirt that he wore, which Tommy Robinson already made fun of. But let's hear what George Galloway has to say.
And has openly stated that in any war he would fight for Israel. He's never, of course, volunteered to join the British armed forces.
What does that connect with anything? Why is that even relevant? The guy said he would support Israel in any war. There's a lot of people would say that. I think even Piers Morgan would say that to a degree. Nigel Farage would say that. How's that? Why does that mean he's a paid agent of Israel? He's siding with the one democracy in the Middle East. Why is that? If George Galloway, if he moved to the Middle East and he ended up in a country not Israel, he would not have a good life. That's all I know.
Forces. And I wouldn't like him in any trench near me if he did and our country needed the people to step forward to defend it. He is an Israeli asset. And
notice how he switched from paid agent to asset now. Okay, now you want to say he's an asset of Israel. Okay, I agree he's a valuable asset to Israel. Does that mean he's on the bankroll of Israel? Of course not. Notice how George Galloway is shifting his words ever so slightly, just like his hat.
of course, they fastened upon him as an asset because their intention was to make the Muslims in Britain so unpopular.
Okay, now this is a wild leap right here. Tommy Robinson, you can watch on his YouTube channel. Go back the last few years. He has been essentially even sometimes patrolling the streets, trying to bring attention to things that were covered up by the British government. The mass rapes by Pakistani Muslim migrants against British women. It was covered up. It was in the news. He exposed it. And apparently this is what keeps George Galloway up at night. And he thinks that this is anti-Islam and that Israel's paying for it. I mean, how do you have to be a real sick hater of Israel and Jewish people to come up with such twisted theories? Really, it's really remarkable.
That Israel would accrue political benefit as a result. And that's what the last 20 years nearly of Tommy.
I don't even know what this guy's saying right now. We have to listen. I don't even know what he's saying. This is just, I don't know who's worse, Lowkey or George Galloway. But let's just see, once again, what Tommy Robinson said for the last time.
You've had a pro-Israel stance for as long as I've known you.
Since the first day. So it's nothing like, people are like, oh, Mossad. It's like, oh, fuck it, really? Do you know why they say Mossad? Because when I went to Israel, I bought a Mossad t-shirt from the souvenir shop. When I went to New York, I bought a New York Police Department bloody t-shirt. I went in the New York Police Department, and it's a bit stupid of me if I was Mossad to be wearing a Mossad t-shirt, wasn't it? But I don't really care, yeah?